What's going on YouTube? It's Marcel. I'm back again with another video for you. And today we are going to talk about some music production tips in this new music production tip series. I'm an engineer and also a music producer. So I want to share the knowledge that I have, things and tools that help me to make music and to craft the sound that I'm looking for. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about scales. And scales is a series of notes. Today we are going to discuss the major scale. A lot of music in the western part of the world and honestly around the world uses the major scale. So I'm going to draw in the notes for the C major scale. Most people are familiar with the note C. So we're going to start there and we're going to build out the C major scale. So first, we have the note there, and the first note of any major scale is called the root note or the tonic. All right, so now let's go to the second note in the scale. So what we're going to do is not do C sharp, we're going to go a whole step up, which would land us on D. So before I move any further, I'm going to use terminology such as whole notes and half notes. And it's very simple for you to remember. So from any note to the next note, right next note next to it, it's called a half step. And the whole note is two notes. So for a C, two notes from C is C sharp or D flat and to the note D, and that is considered a whole step. So let's continue building out our major scale, starting from C, continue on to D. So we're all going to go from E flat to E, which is the third note in the C major scale. So now the next note is F. We didn't go a whole note, we went a half note up. So let's continue on to the next note. The next note is G. So we're going to go a whole step up from F to G. So let's continue on. We're going to go another whole step up, which is A. So let's do the last note in the scale, which is B, which is a whole step up. And then the next note, which would be a half note, it will land us back onto the C note. So there it is. That's the C major scale. These notes are in the C major scale. So the formula is starting from your root note. In this case, it's C for us. You go a whole step, which is D, a whole step, which is E, a half step, which is F, a whole step, which is G, a whole step, which is A, a whole step, which is B, and then a half note, which land us back onto C. So there it is, a very simple tutorial for you. Now so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take this note and put it, let's do E flat. So it will be the notes, as you see, that I'm highlighting. As you see here on the left side of the screen on this keyboard, you see E flat, then the whole step would be F, a whole step would be G, a half step would be G sharp or A flat, and then the next one would be it would be an A sharp or a B flat. Then the next note would be, sorry about that, that was my son came into the studio. Then you have a C, which is a whole step from B flat. Then a whole step up will be D, and then a half note will land you back on E. And you could do this with any note on the scale, and this is important for making music, because a lot of music, again, to reiterate, a lot of music uses this scale. And then at a later time, we're going to get into the number system, so you know which way, well, just the general patterns of chord progressions, and get into that. And we're also going to get into some chords and things like that. So that is the C major scale. And just one last thing before you click off this video, just a quick thing here for you. Actually, I can get rid of all of these here. So we're going to keep this note, and I'm just going to add one more note on. So this is a C major chord. C major chord. And I'm going to go into more depth about creating chords, but I will give you this as a bonus. So here's the formula for a chord, simple chord, is you have your starting note, and this is for a major chord. You want to go whole step, and then you land on your second note, and then whole step, and then half step. And that is a C major chord, which consists of the notes C, E, and G. And before you leave, let's go ahead and apply this to another set of notes. We're going to do the same thing for F. So the F major chord is F, 2 whole steps, A, whole step, half step, C. So it would sound like this. Very simple. So if you want to go ahead and try that out on your next production, it'll definitely help with give your music some flavor and some a more professional, polished sound for you, especially those who don't know much about music theory, ever gone to school for it. This is simply something that you can definitely look into and to start to experiment with in your music productions. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're on other platforms, go ahead and follow us. And we want to build this community together, and we cannot do it without you. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, have a wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video. If you like and enjoy our content, please share follow, and subscribe. We are on social media platforms such as YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook, and others.